Hope you're having a great day. I thought I would just get on here, and I know I have a lot of friends that are newly added, and I just like to say hi to everyone and just really tell you who I am and reintroduce myself, why I'm here. So I've decided to do a five-part series because let me tell you, being a fitness consultant, a nutritionist, an expert in my field when it comes to gut and digestion and body transformation. I get asked the question all the time, Teresa, just tell me what you do. What do you do? What do you eat? What's your workout? And how do you stay fit at age 55? So I'm going to give you the lowdown of exactly what I do step by step. So you really have a visual of who I am, what Ultimate Reset is all about, and how a transformation can happen no matter how busy you are, how demanding your career is, and how many stresses that you have in your life, and even to an extent, what kind of health issues you have. And I think it's really important that you get to know a little bit of a piece of me. And I can't do all that in one video, but today, what I'd really like to do is tell you a little bit about me. And then I will be able to go into also the step-by-step process of how does one transform their bodies so you live an epic life with energy, feeling fantastic in your clothes, wanting to take adventures, looking good naked in front of the mirror, all of those things, intimacy, all of those things, feeling great and looking great will bring you. I'd like to share with you, and ultimately is why I've created Ultimate Reset. But again, the today I'd like to talk about really who am I and what am I about. Okay, so my name is Theresa Maloney. I'm from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, actually formerly a suburb or a community called Duro Dummer. Very small farming community. I live in the country, and I have two grown children, and hopefully one day we'll have grandchildren. I'm married, and I have been in the fitness industry for 30 years. I'm age 55. So I'd just like to take you on a little bit of a journey of how I got here so you can really understand who I am. And if you get a little piece out of this, a little nugget in terms of inspiring you to stay fit and to take the journey of wellness so that you can live an epic life, I hope you do so. All right. The first thing, the first untruth, or I would say assumption that people make is that I'm just naturally fit and that I've, had the right genes and it comes easy to me. And, um, and that's not necessarily truth. My whole health journey, it's been exactly that, is a journey. And it started at a very young age. So I'm going to take you way back here and just give you an idea of my background. So I'm Polish, and my parents are very Polish. And I grew up in Brampton, Ontario. And the one thing about my family is uh, I have two sisters. So there were three girls in the family. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad's a dentist. And great parents. My parents were wonderful. I'm very blessed. But the one thing about being Polish is that food is a big deal, and everything revolves around food. Food is a celebration, and we talk about food, and we're immersed in food. And that's been a real part of my life is food. And I got introduced to sugar very, very early. And in my family, girls played instruments, they didn't play sports. And so I was also very inactive as a child, and I was actually obese. Because I just loved food and I was inactive. And it was a hard time. I remember having a really hard time as an obese child. It was very, very difficult. Like, one of the poignant things I remember is, when school sports were on. Now, I don't think schools do this anymore, but we had sports teams, and two of the athletic classmates would be able to pick their teams. And I was always picked last because I was the fat kid. And I still remember it. Like, it is hurts, and it does hurt, and it is things that you remember. And then I had a life-changing moment when I was in grade 7. I had an amazing teacher that literally changed my life. Her name was Mrs. Ferrara. And Mrs. Ferrara, I actually developed a little bit early, and she got me into cross country running. And she instilled belief, like she poured it into me, and I started running. And I ended up doing really, really well at it. I actually won a cross country meet that ran up a ski hill. And I ran up the ski hill and I was in last place. But when I came down the other side of the ski hill, I was in first place. And won the meet, the cross country meet, and for our community, for Brampton at my age group. And so overnight, I became an athlete. Like that's how quick my identity shift happened. And it is identity, it's how we see ourselves. I went from being that fat kid to being the athlete overnight. And I could not do it all on my own. It was because an amazing coach instilled belief in me. And when someone else tells you you can do it and you trust them, you can do it. And ever since then, I have been hooked on exercise and healthy eating and feeling really good. Now, I certainly don't run anymore, but I kept that going. Even into university, I became an aerobics instructor. I became a dental hygienist, and I was a dental hygienist for about 10 years. And I also got into, when I went to dental hygiene school, it was in Portland, Maine. And women's natural bodybuilding was actually really big in Portland, Maine. And so I worked with a famous bodybuilder part-time while I was going to school for dental hygiene, and his name was Skip Robinson. And Skip trained me. I mean, I didn't pay him because I was a student, but in exchange, I helped him train some youth groups. So I had 2 years of college in Portland, Maine, to get my degree in dental hygiene. And while I had that, I had a premium coach for free in exchange for volunteering to help with his group. So I learned bodybuilding in 2 years. And from there, I became a competitive bodybuilder. And that was at about age 24. And I went into fitness competitions. I have done about 24 fitness competitions in my life. And I competed. My last competition was, I was 44 years of age, and that one I competed with my daughter in. Now, these are natural competitions, right? Natural competitions and unnatural competitions are two different sports. So anyways, for 2 years, I ranked 5th and 6th in the world's in natural bodybuilding with the WNBF. So that was kind of the highlight of my bodybuilding and fitness physique type competitions. And that really taught me so much about fitness and nutrition and how to shape and sculpt the body. It was so amazing. And it really has given me so much of the knowledge I have when I work with women today. I also got into training, and I ended up actually retiring from dental hygiene to go with my passion to help women in fitness. I became a fitness expert. And then actually, when I retired from dental hygiene, it wasn't enough. I wanted to get a certification in nutrition. So I'm a certified nutritionist as well. Went back to school for 2 years. And in addition to that, I also have expertise in hormones and metabolism and digestion as well, which were other courses that I took along the way as well. So I've invested a lot of time, money, and effort in my schooling, in coaching. I've always had coaches. I believe in them wholeheartedly. To live an epic life, if you are not where you want to be, right? Don't waste time. Don't try and figure it out on your own. Hire a really good coach, because what coaches do is they condense time, right? When you try and do things on your own, it really does become this prolonged trial and error thing. So I am such a huge believer in education and coaching and getting help and support in order to live an epic life. So that is my story. The one last piece I want to tell you is a little bit about, I mean, I've had some struggles along the way as well. My hormones started to change when I was 45. And yes, I did put on 35 pounds, and it was really, really difficult for me. And I had gone back to school at that point to learn and really be an expertise, to really refine my expertise in hormones, metabolism, and further my studies in nutrition. And that's when I learned once your hormones change and you go through the change, which happens in your 40s, for me, it was 45, things need to be redefined in terms of your health, your fitness, and just your entire lifestyle. So that is what I do now, is I transform women's bodies. So I am a fitness expert. I help women with resistance training. I am a nutritionist. I do have expertise in hormones, metabolism, and nutrition. But more than that, I'm about the reset. I'm about the holistic approach. The fact that things are connected, right? Your nutrition is connected to your fitness, is connected to your digestion, is connected to your hormones, is connected to your stress level. And it's really important as a wellness consultant that all of those things are taken into consideration when I have a client that is undergoing a transformation. And so that is really what my background has been in terms of the fitness. But I did have to redefine it for myself. I feel at age 55, when my hormones started to change, I was 45, and now at 55, I really feel fantastic. I feel like I've figured it out, right? I feel lean. I feel, healthy. My weight doesn't fluctuate. I feel good in my clothes. And that's because of the journey that I've taken. And that's essentially why I've coached so many women, so many hundreds of women, so that when their bodies are not where they want them to be, I can help you get that energy back. I can help you get that waist. The magic number is 34.5, right? You want to keep it below that. It's really, really critical in terms of your health that you do that. We'll go over why at another time. But again, if you want to be a size 2, if you want to be a size 4, if you want to wear something fitted, don't think that because you're a certain age, your trajectory is that way. If you are a high achieving career woman, if you're a real estate agent or a fitness coach or a nutritionist, if you are a high level executive, oftentimes, you are struggling with things like stress, and you are so driven in your business and in what you do that sometimes our health and our gut can expand because we live so high level. The two go hand in hand. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants design a lifestyle so that as they build their business, they build the shape of their bodies so they're lean and tight, and you actually are making your body your business. So don't think, and don't ever think, that because you are successful, incredibly successful is what you do, that you need to sacrifice your health. You don't. You just need help in designing it. And really, my step-by-step approach, I'm going to give you examples of myself on how I've done it. And so definitely follow this 5-part series, because we're going to be going into fitness. We're going to be in terms of resistance training and cardio. We're going to be going into digestion. We're going to be going into stress management. We're going to be going into sleep. We're going to be going into a step-by-step nutrition plan of what I do that'll give you ideas on what you can do. And I'm going to give you ideas on how to make this fun. So watch my 5-day step-by-step of what I do so that I can give you that little jump start that you need in terms of your own transformation. All right. So stay tuned and see you in the next broadcast.